There's a lot that could be said here, and more than I have time for, so I'm going to try to leave enough time at the end. But generally speaking, SEEA's role is, as a primary recipient of the grant, is to provide program administrative support as well as to put in place tools that will support the work underway in all of our cities. So the cities are sub-recipients to SEEA, but from the DOE's perspective, SEEA is the primary recipient of the grant. On the administrative side, we spearhead all of the reporting requirements that come with getting federal dollars, working to ensure that our subrecipients have adequate accounting and financial systems in place, identifying and bringing on the contract partners and vendors that can support what the cities are doing. We've invested quite a bit of time and resources in identifying best practices, which we have then provided to the cities both in the forms of written reports and webinar series with our partners to inform their program design and to help them as they begin to implement their program. At the regional level, we have committed to, at the request of our cities, providing a regional loan loss reserve fund, which we're starting out at $2 million, which we can use in negotiating with lending institutions in an effort to reduce the risk and hopefully the interest rates that would be made available to property owners in these markets. We are invested quite a bit of money for a business process software management system to handle all of the data collection and reporting needs for the cities. And it also includes a tool that their contractors can use to carry out energy evaluations of the buildings and run models to estimate energy savings. We're committed to doing a regional measurement and verification program based on the utility data from participating property owners and supporting the cities as well with workforce development and marketing, collateral material development and branding, and lastly, a regional quality assurance program because, as we'll see, ensuring the quality of the work that's done is absolutely critical to the success of this program. I want to turn now to giving you a bit of an overview of the cities and how they're spending their money and the kinds of commitments that they have made. So we see here the cities listed in terms of the amount of dollars that we have awarded them in the first year of the grant. SEEA is a little unique, I'm told, in the National Better Buildings program. We are the only ones that have this many sub-recipients. We've got 13 cities. I believe the next largest number is 6 out of LA County. We're the only recipient, I'm told, managing sub-recipients across state lines. Our cities cross 8 states and a U.S. territory. And we're also unique in taking a performance-based approach to how we are making sub-awards. What we have done is, in the year 1, allocated dollars to the cities based on our assessment of their capacity to achieve their originally stated goals. So we looked at things like whether or not they had an existing organizational structure that could carry out this work, the staffing levels and the experience of the staff, their track record, the market size, did they have other funding sources that they were bringing to the table, the partnerships that they had in place with utility companies. All of these informed the size of the award that we gave them for year 1. And so their year 1 allocation is quite variable, as you can see here, totaling around $6.7 million that we've given out so far. In return, we've worked with each of the cities based on those factors and some others to really estimate how many buildings, how many units they think they could get done in the first year of the grant program. And so that's the rightmost column. And you can see, again, extremely variable, from a high of almost 600 out of New Orleans, which is a very different program, and we'll see in a second. They're doing a financing program, to 4 commercial projects that we're targeting in Carborough, North Carolina. But in this first year, we're hoping that this $6.7 million investment will produce almost 2 2,300 units retrofitted of the 10,000 that we're committed to doing. A quick word on how the performance-based funding is going to work in year 2. So the cities will only be able to access year 2 funding once they have spent down their year 1 allocation and have achieved 80% or more of the retrofit unit targets that were established. We will then institute kind of a direct reimbursement on a first-come, first-served basis that, quite frankly, is structured to reward those programs that are quickest to getting the work done and getting the most work done. On residential programs, we'll reimburse them 25% of the total project cost net of any other subsidies from the utilities or other programs that might be included, up to a maximum of $2,000 per home. Most of our cities, as you'll see, are set incentive levels at different price points, the lowest being $400 to a homeowner, the highest being $2,000. What we want is by ensuring that they're going to get $2,000 back from SEEA for every home that's done, there's an incentive there for them to start ratcheting down the levels of incentives that they're paying out to homeowners, which allows them to do more cost recovery as well. On the commercial side, we'll reimburse 25% of the first $10,000 of project costs, 15% of the next $500,000 to a max of $77,500. And for those programs that are using grant dollars to do financing, we'll reimburse 15% of the total project value up to a maximum of $15,000. I'm not going to say much in this slide. This is just presenting a little bit more detail of how that performance-based accountability is going to work. But again, there are very specific milestones that the cities must achieve before they can hope to access more money through our program. For example, they must have business plans that have robust and realistic revenue planning in place to show how they're going to keep these programs financially sustainable once the grant runs out, in addition to achieving 80% or more of the units that they were committed to getting in year 1. Again, we don't have a lot of time, so I'm not able to go into a lot of detail about each of our cities, but I wanted to give you a kind of a typology to guide your thinking in how they're approaching doing the work. This matrix is showing how the programs are being administered, the entities, the different entities that are administering the program. And you can see that it's almost an even split between those programs that are being run by a nonprofit or an energy alliance, those that are being run out of local government offices, typically mayor's offices of sustainability, those that have elected to contract with a for-profit firm, and those that are run out of a utility. In terms of building sector, everybody, almost everyone is focusing on the single-family residential market, with the exception of the U.S. Virgin Islands, which has a very specific demographic around housing. And almost all will be turning to doing small commercial, but none really will be doing industrial or manufacturing facilities. A lot of the programs are partnering or layering their incentive dollars on existing utility-run demand-side management programs, and this is something that we very much want to see and that will, we believe, help to increase the sustainability of the programs going forward. Many of the programs are also providing incentive dollars for the cost of the actual retrofits or improvements for the work. Some are also offering incentive dollars for the initial audits or evaluations of the property. And quite a few are also putting in place local financing programs to help property owners pay for the work that needs to get done. And the incentive dollars are being paid overwhelmingly directly to property owners, some incentive dollars increasingly going to contractors as we look to tap into their potential to help drive demand for the program, and some programs that are trying to do financing are also making their grant dollars available in the form of either interest rate buy down or revolving loan funds. So you can see there's a wide range and diversity in the kinds of program designs in our program. What we told the DOE is that really, since we don't have a good track record of energy efficiency in this part of the country, we wanted to use this grant to establish a laboratory and to encourage this diversity in the programmatic approaches. And SEEA's commitment is to evaluate all of these programs so that we can identify those that can be those models that we can replicate as we continue to push this work out, in the years beyond the grant. I see I don't have much time, so I'm actually not going to review some of the highlights of the program. If folks are interested in knowing about some particular programs or hearing some more about the different kinds of program activities, I'm happy to do that. I want to use my remaining few minutes to perhaps share some of the early lessons and observations coming out of the program. I think the first thing that I need to say is that setting up these programs takes a long time, a much longer time than I think DOE realized and even our program partners realized. In many cases, we were awarded the grant in June of 2010. The majority of our programs really launched or got implemented after January of this year. So it's taken them 6, 7, 8 months to get the program organization put in place and the program design completed. Some of that is a reflection of the fact that we're building these programs with staff that are largely new to this work, that are new to energy efficiency in the building sector. So there's been a very steep learning curve, and we've been flooding them with a lot of information, as has DOE, and so just the time necessary to absorb that and to work with partners to produce something that's meaningful has been significant. Lastly, we can't overlook the legislative impact here. A lot of these, our SEEA is contracted with local governments in the region, which requires legislative approval, and sometimes we've had very lengthy legislative processes, not to mention what it means to run these programs through municipal legal and procurement departments. So definitely looking back, if we had to do it all over again, I think one of the things that I would take a hard look at is the degree to which we could either run some programs directly or work directly with partners that are established in some of these communities. There's an enormous amount of pressure from everyone, from DOE, from SEEA to the sub-recipients, from the local governments, for these programs to start performing. And that pressure pushes up against the need for us to do careful program design and to build organizational structures that are sound. These are extremely complex programs. They have many moving parts that need to work together without glitches. It's as one example, the pathway that a customer moves once you successfully market to them and they come into your program, moving them through your program and through all the different partners that you might have, the banks and lending institutions, the utility programs that they might need to go to. There are many pitfalls along the way, and really you only need a few missteps or bad customer experience to really hurt programs. And so this pressure to have early results is really presenting a bit of a challenge with ensuring that we maintain high-quality programs as we go. One specific example that I'll throw out there for consideration as well is the time necessary to process rebate checks when we're running these programs through local governments. If a local government accounting or finance department is having to cut checks, we've had some instances where homeowners have been waiting 6 to 8 weeks and haven't received a check yet. These are the kinds of things that really are very, very important in terms of building demand and positive outcomes with our program.